constructing a auxiliary plan. Now, an auxiliary plan is any view of the elevation that is not at 90 degrees or that is not a principal view. Just to remind that the principal views would be the front, the plan, and the end elevation. And we get these views by looking at our object at 90 degrees or directly at the face of the object. In auxiliary views, we are looking at an object at an angle. So in this case here, we have an auxiliary plan by looking at the front elevation at an angle. In this case, we are using an angle of 45 degrees. Now, it's an auxiliary plan we are constructing, but it's still a plan. And the dimensions of the plan that will remain the same would be the width. The width of the plan, this 40 dimension, remains the same. So let's go and begin the construction. So what we have here is our XY line that we're going to be taking our measurements from this XY line and transferring it to this X1, Y1 line, which is the base of our new plan, our auxiliary plan. So the dimension of this plan is only has one dimension, which is 40 millimeters or 40 units. So I'm going to go to offset, type in 40, and offset 40 millimeters. Now I'm going to look at my elevation and pull the lines from my elevation. So for instance, if I'm going to be looking at this space here, which would be these two pieces on top here, so I'm going to pull my line, make sure I'm getting my 90-degree snap. Again, I'm going to be using enter, enter. Alright, so what I have here is all the lines that pertain to these two faces here. So let's see how it's going to look in my auxiliary plan. Now this plan just has one width. So I'm going to take the first rectangle, which is this rectangle here. And that's going to be that face. I'm going to take this next face here, which is this rectangle. And that's how that is going to look. Now, in my plan, these two rectangles look like they're connected. But in my auxiliary plan, there's a space in between. Now, that space is going to be this line here, which is there's a height difference between this face and this face, which is shown here. So I'm just going to connect it up. So what we have happening here, in our plan view, we see two rectangles. But in our auxiliary plan, these two rectangles are separated here by this height, which we will now see on the auxiliary plan. Now, there are other points that we didn't pull. For instance, we didn't pull this line here, which represents this face, and this is going to be similar to this face here. Just the dimensions are different. So let me get this face here. which is now going to look like that. Hmm. Now let's check our corners. We pull all of these corners here, but there's one we didn't pull. There is this one here. If you're looking in this direction here, this is going to be hidden. So I'm just going to use a different color line to represent. And that now represent a hidden part of the drawing, which we use a hidden line. So there we have it, an auxiliary plan drawn by looking at the elevation at an angle of 45 degrees.